On the way you found many bones of skulls. Mr. Bari prayed, "O God, whose head is lying like this, revive him so that he may speak to me, so that I may know who he is." He was the person and what he did in the world. And if I asked anything else, the answer came a skull named Devnanda. By God's command, speak to us. The skull wrote by God's command. Were you poor and pious, or did you belong to the kingdom of learning? Or were you a bookkeeper, generous or miserly? And what is your name? The skull replied, I was a king, and my name was Jamja. I was generous and a tall man, and many times I had everything. I did not grieve for anything. 5,000 slaves, handsome soldiers, beautiful drunken soldiers, robber prisoners always stood on my right and left, and outside stood 500 slaves, Tarana Sans and his. In addition, 500 slaves who guarded the palace, and 1,000 maidens sang joyfully in my service, and 1,000 maidens stepped into my bosom, and such blood that the breath of roosters and animals became still at the sight of it, and power over men. Gore, O God, if I describe all my glory, you will be amazed, and when I want prey for hunting, 4,000 horses and spectators will be with me, and 4,000 of my victims will walk with me in white cotton turbans and maceles on their heads. And with weapons and external falconry, and 1,000 slaves will go ahead and 1,000 behind, and 1,000 horsemen will go right and left with me, and all the slaves will go on horses, carrying weapons, O God, if I describe before you the details of the hunting ground. So you will be surprised. My empire was spread far and wide. The army was so numerous that to write down its numbers would amaze ministers and people, and 1,000 times more nations would be astonished. I commanded my face, which was unmoved by my thighs. Swords. And if I only describe the fighting and strength of my army, it will sound strange. No one had the authority to fight me or stand before my army and say that in all the years it has reigned, was not. Any kind of grief or sorrow even for a day. And I also responded to the beauty and perfection that came, and there was no one equal to me in beauty and perfection. And whoever marries me will remain like that, and I am every. I would give 1,000 dinars to the beggars, and feed the hungry, and clothe the naked, and all the people would be happy with me. Despite all this, there was an evil in me that I did not believe in God. And my comparison was that Allah sent prophets to us, but we lied to them and maintained our worship of Mercury during the days of our absence. I, shape and life. Did you see the angel of death? Then explained everything, then explained, O messenger of Allah, today, it has been 100 years since my death. And now I will tell the reason of my death. It so happened that one day, Shahi Umar was performing his last rites, sitting on a pillow in the heat of the day, when my slave saw that 10 bags were standing at his service. So the intensity of the heat reached my head, and due to this, feeling the pain, I left everything and went to my resting place. But all my freedoms were so slack that I had gone to bed when I began to feel worse, and when nothing could relieve me, and my health started worsening further. My face turned pale. Then I called my ministers near the bed and told them about my health and begged them to cure me. Then this minister said to Tabiman, Heal me, and O Allah's Prophet. Then all my special Tabiman were called and told to treat me. Then all the doctors started giving me medicine and tried their best to make me better after treatment. But no treatment helped, and no medicine was effective in my disease, and my condition became such that my tongue was blocked, gone, and my whole body started, trembling from weakness and weakness. My eyes filled with tears, and my eyesight went out. I was unable to think, and was unconscious most of the time, and even when I was conscious, I was unable to move, and see, and hear. Then one day, I fell into the same situation. While unconscious, I heard a terrible voice saying to capture Jamja's soul and cast him into hell. Then I thought about something, and I saw the angel of death, who looked like a snake, with his head in the sky and his feet in the sand, and he came and stood before me. I saw his many faces and begged him in fear, but he did not listen to one. Then Hazrat Ali Salam said, "O Jama, did you ask the angel of death the reason for having so many faces?" Then Jamja would have said, "O Prophet of Allah, I asked the reason for this, that is, the angel of death explained it in such a way that the face in front, which is that of a pious old man, I take the lives of the believers, that when I take hold of the souls of the believers, so what do I bring before them as a pious old man, so that they do not fear my face, and I take hold of the faces of the right side in the deep world without any conversation. Zrenia, i lica za, i sleva, chi."